Hey, welcome to the Monday Leader Podcast. I'm your Monday mentor, Mike Amy, and we're going to be having a special guest with us. My main man, Adam Braud, is with me. My fitness trainer, the one that makes me look so great when I look
Amazing.
great. But we're going to be talking today about leadership, but really about the margin that we need in leading the gaps in the room. You know, having those moments where we feel like we've grown bigger and gone further than the room is at the current moment. In those transition periods when you know you've outgrown the room, outgrown maybe the structure, outgrown the calling that you're at, and what that looks like. Because every leader gets to that point where they outgrown the room, but they're still responsible for it. You're pastoring a church, you're leading a group of people, and you know you've outgrown what's happening currently, but you're still responsible for taking care of the people. And that gap, kind of like, how do you fill that gap? How do you fill that margin? Because there's times when you can feel misaligned, but you're still accountable, right? You feel like I don't know if this is the right season I'm supposed to be in with these people, but I'm still responsible for them because I don't know the next season. And that horrible season of transition, right? And what that looks like. So I know you've had some skill in that, in transitioning.
Transitioning, yes.
Yeah, many transitions. You pastored on the continent of Africa, in Swazi.
I did.
I'll let you talk more about what that looked like, and then transitioning back to the States. And then recently you've transitioned from Memphis to Utah, doing some phenomenal work there in Utah.
Recruiting the highest level of people too.
Yeah, recruiting the highest level of people. Yeah, I'll talk about that in another podcast. It's loaded.
Loaded, super loaded.
But tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Well, background-wise, first of all, Mike, thanks for letting me be on here with you. It's always fun. It's fun to hang out with friends and have conversations, and hopefully the conversation helps people.
Yeah.
But short story is, been in ministry since I was about 16 years old. In pretty much every aspect you can think of.
Yeah.
You serving, cell group leader. That's back in the day. I'm older than you think.
Leader.
Cell group leader. Missionary, traveled the world, preached the gospel all over the place. Lived in Africa for a couple of years. Worked at churches. Worked at some larger ministries. So we've been through a lot of transition, and we've kind of served. My wife and I have served in a lot of different areas. And transition is always a component of life.
Yeah.
And the problem is that most of us do it really poorly.
Yeah.
Right. We just do it poorly because we're creatures of habit. We prefer comfort and we prefer predictability.
Yeah.
And that's normal. That's a human nature. And transition is one of those things that you're never gonna stop it. You just have to manage it. And learning to manage it well is, I think, a skill.
Yeah.
That you only get through repetitions. And we, as my family and I, have transitioned quite a bit. Just recently transitioned from living in the great state of Tennessee.
The great state of Tennessee.
The great state of Tennessee.
Great city of Memphis.
The great city. Memphis.
It's a great city.
It's a great city. It's
a great city.
It's got its edges though.
Because it's a great church. There's a great church here.
There's a great church, the Life Church Memphis, one of the best churches in America, in my opinion. I love them. They're my people. So we were here for like 9 years.
Okay.
And then we've just transitioned to Utah to help start a nonprofit, like, legacy play for Joyce Meyer Ministries.
Okay.
And it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's going to take missionaries to do it because of where it's beautiful. It's like living in a postcard.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It truly is like living in a postcard. But it's also, you have to have a missions mindset to be out there, which is one of the reasons why we feel like the Lord's asked us to do it. And the other thing is you have to be okay with transition.
Yeah.
Or maybe not okay with it, but you can still operate in it.
Right.
because of the unpredictable nature of ministry in general, but then starting ministry. With family, being a dad, being a husband.
Got a great family. There's this picture, and I'll probably use it for the podcast of your family, and I wanted to send it to you guys because it looked like you guys were going to launch a church. And it was like it was like that picture that every family has when they get ready to launch a church. Coming soon, you know.
Yeah,
Coming soon.
You know,
It was
big
phenomenal.
cheese eating grin.
I want to be under that.
He looked like he
family.
gonna ask me for money.
Yeah, no, I want him to be my pastor. You know, he's had that look. I want her to be my first lady, right? I'll send it to you.
He looked like he
guys.
could take up a donation. That's what he
I'll
looked
take a
like.
screenshot of it just to send
You
to
should
I'm
send
sorry.
it to me because I'm gonna use it as my profile pic.
But here's the thing I wanted to ask, because I think as a leader, God is constantly speaking to us
Mm-hmm.
and showing us different things. And sometimes I feel like God begins to transition us before our people can even see it.
It's an interesting insight, yeah.
And it's like they're not aware that a transition is happening,
Mm-hmm.
but you can sense it. How do you lead in that moment? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you're referring specifically to transitioning out,
Yeah, probably.
like
out.
so. I'm a lead pastor, or I'm a missionary, and I've had this ministry, and now I'm transitioning out to a new season of life that the Lord's calling me to.
Yeah.
I think when you lead in those environments, and I didn't do this well. This is me learning from the rough end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoosh. So I think you have to lead in a way that prepares your people, not just for your absence, but also to keep growing in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Because even though maybe you've outgrown these people, they're still your people.
Right.
They're still the people the Lord's called you to. They're still souls. So I think there has to be a lot of discretion in how you speak. You have to keep, if what the Lord's doing in you, if it's not for the environment you're in, you don't need to be speaking. You don't need to be speaking from the place of you're leaving to the place you are leaving. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like you can't let what the Lord's doing in your heart come out in the word. Can't come out in the message. Can't come out in your leadership now. Like you can't now have like this transient kind of talk, like we're leaving and this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You can't be flippant.
Right.
But you also can't. You're not taking these people with you.
Right.
So you have to lead them in a way that's going to allow them to still flourish in the soil they're in.
Yeah.
While you're planning on moving to another place. So I think it's just being really cognizant of what the Lord's doing in you doesn't necessarily get on everybody else.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And I think another powerful thing is you also speak well of the next leadership, the next transition that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're building a platform for them to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's what I found. Now I haven't transitioned a whole lot, but I have recently. And what I found is once I transition as that leader, I have to realize and understand that person that's coming behind me is going to transition in, and that's going to be a different position for them, and everybody connected with them, because they're inheriting my leadership, people that I've chosen and people I put in place, and they have to figure out their fit to where they can still honor the past, right, but honor where God's taking them for the ministry.
Yeah, I think that's a good insight. I think also you have to be really careful that you don't speak ill and you don't covet your people.
Yeah.
Right? If you covet the people, because people are going to okay, Pastor Mike's leaving, so they're going to want to come to you, and they're going to still come to you when the new leadership's having a problem.
Right.
Right? Because you're the confidant. But your job is not to console them per se. Your job is to help the new leadership grow. It's going to change. It's going to look different.
Yeah.
But you can't go splitting the church.
Right.
because the new leadership, you disagree with this or that.
And that for me, that was difficult because we left, and we left well. You know, it wasn't like it was an issue or anything. We left well, and I was still getting people messaging me, and it was like, as much as I want to talk with you, you're no longer my sheep, if you would. Like, this is your pastor now.
We're connected, but we're not.
Connected, but
you're not under me anymore.
And having to learn to teach that, but also make sure I don't overstep. Like, hey man, call me anytime. Now there's sons that I have and daughters that I have that are like,
there's levels, yeah.
There's levels. Like, you call me anytime you want, and we're gonna talk and everything. But for the majority, it's like, hey, listen, that's your pastor now. You know, shooting the breeze with me. You gotta learn to shoot the breeze with your pastor now. You know, to get their thoughts on that and get, you know, their belief in that.
I think what you're describing is being kingdom minded.
Yeah.
And I think it's something we might mention. It maybe some corners of the church don't hear that type of terminology, but being kingdom minded is putting the benefit and needs of the church above my own comfort, proclivity, what I would love to happen. Yeah, I would love to be able to rap with you like we're normal. But hey man, you can't bring the problems with the new pastor to me.
Right.
That's gonna create division, strife. You need to learn how to deal with that yourself. And it's really hard as a leader who's taking care of a lot of people to not try to meet that need, not try to fix that thing.
Yeah.
But
I've had that happen to me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Where I took over, and then the previous leadership was still, people were going to them.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Taking things about me to them.
Same with me. Same thing happened to me.
It causes that divide to where the kingdom can advance, because it's like, as much as you're here with me, your heart is over there with the other person. It's like, how do we move forward if we're divided, right?
Yeah, we have to grow together.
Yeah.
We don't grow separate. We grow together. So the same thing happened to me when I was in Africa. Is I came in as new leadership, and some of the things I was doing, which, you know, you don't do everything right.
Right.
I'm sure I did a bunch of dumb stuff. You know what I mean? It's just
you're trying to figure it out.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it all out.
So you're trying to figure it out. But I know it caused a lot of stress for us, because people were going to the old leadership, and then it seemed like there was like this concerted effort behind the scenes to kind of undermine what we were doing, and it really made it difficult to grow. Like it just made everything so much harder. And unfortunately, the people who were doing that, they didn't grow at all.
Right.
And all it did was cause stress for everybody else. So as hard as it is, you have to have a kingdom mindset, meaning what's best for these people and that church, not what's best for me right now.
Right.
Because if it's what's best for you, God would have put you there. God would have left you there.
Yeah.
But you're not there now.
That's
so let it go.
That's maturity. That's what maturity looks like, because technically when you've passed something off to someone else, your authority in that area has lifted, right? You're no longer
relinquished that.
You've relinquished it, yeah. So a mature leader says, hey, I get it. I'm no longer the head man in this area. And that takes a mature person to be able to say that.
It really does.
To do that, yeah.
And you have to be really secure in where you feel like God's taking you. And I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because we're always tempted to reach backwards.
Right.
When reaching forward is a real big step of faith.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's hard, right? I mean.
So what would you say to the leader in the middle? That's relinquished one trapeze going to the next.
They're in that floating
position. They're in the air. It's a whirlwind. It's not making sense. They're trying to figure it out. What do you say to that person in the middle?
I think the big thing is, don't make dumb decisions. Don't make emotional decisions, right? Like, and what I mean by that is, it's going to be emotionally chaotic.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're floating, and you kind of are. You're kind of like, you don't have an anchor. You're not really tied to the dock. You're just out in the ocean floating.
Yeah.
And I think the thing you have to do is you have to stay calm, stay steady, right? As steady as you can. Get in the Word. Like I tell people all the time, it's like the reason you confuse all the time is because you're not reading what Jesus said. Jesus he told you exactly what's happening. It's in the Bible. You're not reading it. That's why you're confused all the time, right? So it's like, if you can get in the Word, really anchor yourself in there. I know this is cliche.
Yeah.
I know it is. But it's really the only thing that I can say is that you have to allow that transition time, that insecurity, that floating feeling. You got to let it come and pass, right? You can't let it make you start making silly decisions. Now all of a sudden you starting businesses, and you know what I mean? Like you're trying to transition and you're over here delivering pizzas, or you know what I'm saying? Like you just start grasping at straws instead of having faith. Faith is hard for a reason, because it feels like a risk.
Right. Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that feeling.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to talk to yourself, pray, like encourage yourself, get in the Word, and realize you have not been here before. It's going to feel weird.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you haven't felt this before, you don't know what to expect. So it's going to feel weird. But then eventually, as you get into it, you're going to realize, oh, God's taking care of me. This is happening. This is happening. He's moving this. He's moving that. Yeah. And you start seeing. When you start getting all in your emotions and your feelings about it, it really makes it difficult.
I don't like how you said that, get into your emotions and your feelings, because, I mean, the other day, man, I was just boo-hooing, like, God, I'm tired.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you need to be able to feel your emotions. I mean, that's the thing. Like, all you got to do is read through Job, Isaiah, Jeremiah. They were straight complaining and laying accusations against the Lord, right?
Right.
But the reason why it wasn't sin is because it was a prayer.
Yeah.
Right? It was a prayer. It was a cry for help. God understands, like, you just in here just laid out, making a mess on the floor crying. He understands that. It's when you don't consult Him, get in your emotions and start making moves on your own. That's when you start getting in trouble. Because you start momentum, things happening that you don't have control over now. And now He's got to come behind you and clean it up.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an issue.
That's good. Like when you say get in the Word, it was a cliche.
It is.
And nothing wrong. It's not a bad cliche. I mean, it's just something that we always say as Christianese. Like, you got to get in the Word. You got to get in the Word. But what does that really look like, get in the Word, for a leader in transition?
I think in transition, you need to double down on your strengths. Double down on, it's like, if you're having trouble paying your bills and you got multiple kind of incomes coming in, but only one's doing really well right now, which one you're going to double down on?
Yeah.
You're going to double down on the one that's a sure bet.
Yeah.
Right? And I think when it comes to the Scripture, I don't mean, go spend 5 minutes in the morning sipping your tea. I mean literally, like, start organizing your day around provision from the Lord. Meaning, not just like, okay, let's say you're in transition and you're waiting for the Lord to reveal this next step, and you're just sitting. Do you think your time is better spent on Netflix, or maybe increasing that
for the Netflix and chill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm coming for it only because that is comfort seeking.
Okay.
Right? It's comfort seeking in the sense that it numbs you. But in a time of transition, you don't need numbness, you need sensitivity.
That's good.
You don't need to be numb, you need sensitivity. You need to be able to hear. You need to let God encourage you and speak to you.
So numbness is like you don't feel.
Yes.
Sensitivity is you feel.
You might feel pain.
It's
and sensitivity is sensitivity.
Yeah.
If you're sensitive right now, I pinch you, that's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
But if the Lord just touches you,
Yeah.
you're gonna feel that.
Yeah.
But if you're distracted and your brain is awash with cheap dopamine hits from your phone and from Netflix, and then you tired and you making bad decisions watching stuff you shouldn't be watching, right? Or whatever.
And taking naps in the middle of the day.
Taking naps in the middle. I know a guy that does that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Nobody on this podcast.
Yeah. I caught him napping just a minute ago, but I was like, he's tired, man. Let the man sleep. You know what I mean? But I think our natural proclivity, and I do this because I do fitness stuff too. We have a natural proclivity to run away from discomfort.
Yeah.
That's why we self-soothe. That's why food is such an addiction. That's why alcohol is a thing. It's all these things that we soothe with.
Right. I've been eating the massive amounts of cherry pie. I know.
The transition is on you.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not buying a whole lot of stuff. But I'm just eating cherry pie.
Well, I mean, that might be your ministry right now.
Yeah.
But what that is, why do you want cherry pie?
It numbs the pain, the agony.
It gives you a sense of like
ooh.
It gives you the sense of like,
yeah,
for a moment.
Yeah.
Right? But is that what we need?
No.
Or do I need to be sensitive to the Lord? Yeah, I need to be sensitive to Him. I'm not saying you can't watch Netflix. I'm not being absolute.
You're talking about the balance of, if you're, like for me, I'm like, okay, I usually work from 9 to 5 back in the day, right? Well, I'm not going to watch TV between those time periods. I'm just going to be productive. Reading the Word, working on podcasts, working on some leadership stuff, whatever it is. Let me be productive during that time as if I was working versus just, sitting there all day for the next 6 months just watching TV.
Yep.
And then God says, move here, and I haven't added to myself.
Exactly.
I think periods of transition is also where God is I don't want to use that word, refining you, but I mean, it's a good word, but is adding to you, right? Is developing you, growing you in certain areas, which is key to grow.
Yes.
In the middle of a transition.
Yeah. Right. I think like I was saying, because I do fitness stuff, I see the two aspects of human nature rubbing up against each other all the time.
Yeah.
The desire to have a thing, but the desire to be comfortable. And those two cannot coexist.
Yeah.
You cannot have a thing that you've never had before and have comfort. You have to be able, everything has a price. And the thing you want right now will cost you something you're not used to paying.
That's good.
So it's like if you're seeking comfort and you're seeking wisdom from the Lord, you're going to have trouble getting that.
Yeah.
So you have to decide, I'm going to be uncomfortable one way or the other, but I think I'm going to be better off if I can get that word from the Lord. So I'm going to get in the Bible. I'm going to pray more than I normally do, and I'm going to prioritize that above my comfort-seeking avoidance of this feeling of insecurity I have right now.
Yeah. What do you say to the person who feels like they haven't done that enough? Like they've wasted a few months not doing that part?
It's never
too
late.
Should they go on Amazon, get that goatskin leather Bible?
Yeah. I think you should upgrade your Bible.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I think it's like anything else. There's no time like the present to start.
Yeah.
I don't think time is actually wasted with the Lord. I think everything is a lesson. I think He can multiply. I mean, He can mature you in the same amount of time that you give Him, right? That's what I mean. I think that's kind of what the water into wine can mean to some extent. He can take a natural process and speed it up, and ferment that. He can mature it really quick, or it can take its natural time. I don't think you have to waste time. I don't think you've really wasted time. I think you're learning, because the feeling of guilt and kind of regret, that's a learning process, right? It teaches you not to do that again.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to get condemned. I don't think you need to be like, now you need to spend 6 hours a day in the Bible. I don't
Right.
think you have to like try to make up for it, because that's not how God works.
Yeah.
I think you just need to make your decisions and start pressing forward to the best of your ability and slowly move in the direction that you're trying to get.
That's good. That's good. I want to talk about this real quick before we end. This has been really good.
Oh,
So
hopefully.
I'm glad you're my friend.
I'm glad I got invited.
Yeah, you're ministering to me. So podcast, it's about no one else today. It's just for me. I'm going to listen
But you're
to it
asking
over
questions
again.
like, what would you say
Yeah.
to me?
Talk to me. I want to give like a gap test.
Okay.
I think in when we look at gaps, or even when we look at man-made things, cars or whatever, they always put like stress tests on certain areas to see how will that function and is it functioning properly? Where do we need to fix some things? So character, will you stay honorable when misunderstood?
Mm.
Language, will you speak with wisdom or leak frustration, like you said?
Mm-hmm.
Posture, will you serve or be subtle in your sabotaging?
That's good.
Right.
I like those.
And I think those are all those places where Satan will try to test us.
Mm-hmm.
Your character, your language, your posture. And contrary to popular belief, people are still watching you even in the transition
Yes.
to see how are you going to be.
They're looking at your Facebook posts. They're
Yeah.
looking at your Instagram. They're looking at who you mouthing off about now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're paying attention. And
Yeah.
Christians notoriously don't engage.
Yeah.
So people see.
And they'll say something later.
Oh, no, they got memories like an elephant. They'll bring
After
that
the fact.
up.
Oh, man, you know when you were
You're like-
transition, you remember you were talking about this? I'm like, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. So what would you say to the 25-year-old Adams?
Oh, Lord.
Because I think if we could learn to transition better at a younger age, we would save heartache for so many people.
Yes. I think if I were to speak to myself at a younger age and say, hey, man, there's going to be a lot of transitions and you're going to mess up a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me give you a couple pointers on how to make it easier. I think the first one would be keep your mouth shut.
That's good.
Like, and I don't mean that like in like a mean, backhanded way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be tempted to say some things. You're going to be tempted to give your opinion. You're going to be tempted to, interject, and some of that emotion, that insecurity is going to come out in what you're saying. Proverbs speaks very clearly that even a fool is thought wise when he does not open his mouth. So it's important that you guard your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you live and die by your tongue, right?
That's good.
So I think I would first say, control your tongue. Keep your mouth shut. Let God do what God's going to do. He's got your back. If you really believe He's calling you to do this, then let Him lead it, and you stop getting all up in your feelings about it.
Yeah.
And I think the second one would be honor. Honor up, honor down, honor all around, honor everybody. Just be honorable, because God can honor you if you are honorable.
Yeah.
If you get in your feelings and you start saying silly things, and I'm not saying you're being vindictive or anything, but when you're emotional, you
like don't invite people into your frustration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't hold a powwow about this or that. Don't just let God be God. You suffer silently.
Yeah.
If you're suffering, suffer like a good soldier,
Yeah.
like Paul told Timothy.
That's good.
Like a good soldier.
That's good.
I
wrote this: the gap isn't permission to disengage; it's an invitation to grow up.
Oof.
I thought about that when I was writing it out. I was like, this is something that Adam would say, like, grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Eat like an adult.
Yeah.
Right? Like, transition like an adult.
Yeah. I would say transition like you really believe God's asking you to do it.
Yeah.
Because if you really believe it, then if you have enough faith to step away, you should have enough faith to stand.
That's good. That's good.
Right?
That's good.
So, and I want to share. Can I share this real quick?
You can share whatever you want. You
Okay.
You're the sponsor of this podcast. Matter of fact, let's take a break for the sponsor of our podcast,
I'm gonna show you my
Adam
workout
Braud.
videos.
Adam Braud Fitness. For all your fitness needs, eating needs, please reach out to Adam Braud. He's your guy. I promise you.
Thank you for that plug.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
That's what friends do.
Yeah. So if you think about it, I like the topic of transition. And if you think about it, one of the major transition points in the Bible is when Moses dies and Joshua takes in the children of Israel.
Yeah.
And if you look in Joshua like 2, 3, 4, God's coaching him through how to get into the next season.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
And if you look at that process, what does he tell him when he's going to go across the Jordan? He says, you take the priests and the Ark of the Covenant, they go first, right? And what does he say? He says, you follow them, because God's going to lead them. You follow them, he says, because you have not been this way before. Think about this. Ooh. You have not been this way before, so you better follow where God's leading you. And then secondly, the thing that really stuck out to me, I preached a whole message on this a long time ago, so that's why it's coming fresh. It's not like the Holy Spirit's just dropping it on me. I already got the notes downloaded.
I thought it was fresh.
Yeah, no, it's fresh. It's fresh bread. You know what I'm saying? If you look, it says, he tells the priest to go stand in the river, and the waters will stop, right? But there was a delay. Think about it. It says that the water got cut off at the city of Adam. That was like several miles upstream.
Yeah.
So they stood in the water for some time before they saw what God promised.
That's good.
Okay? And then while they're standing, I'm from Louisiana. I understand water because we basically live underwater. And when you're in a stream, and you stand in there, you sink up to your shins. Okay? You sink. And then when the water's rushing past you, it feels like it's sucking you down. Right? So if you think what's happening with the priests here, the priests are standing in there, there's a delay, and they feel all this pressure trying to pull them downstream. That is transition. You're going to get into it. You're going to start doing what God asked you to do. You feel like you're following him, and then you're going to start feeling this pressure. This thing to pull you down. It's going to keep trying to pull you down the stream. It's going to get you to not wait. Not wait for when the water is going to come like it's supposed to, because there's a delay. There's always this pressure for you to move too quickly or make silly decisions. And if they wouldn't have followed the Ark of the Covenant, they'd have been lost. He said, you ain't never been this way before. You have no idea where to go. So I think if we look at that story, we can see a couple things. If you're following God, keep following him.
Right.
Don't get distracted when the delay happens. And don't move too quick when you feel the pressure pulling you down.
That's good.
Sorry. You give a preacher a microphone.
That was good. Because you're challenging us to audit ourselves. Mm-hmm. Where am I? And how will I handle this all?
Mm-hmm.
And how will I handle everyone around me?
Mm-hmm.
How will I manage all of that?
Mm-hmm.
And not give up? Because the pressure is around. The pressure is there. And it might be a delay. And it might be a 6-month delay or 8-month delay. But can you stand
in that stream?
In that stream. Even when it doesn't feel right around your legs, it feel like you're being sucked down or even further, knowing that God will pull you out if necessary.
Well, you're going to walk across on dry ground.
But you're going to get across there.
It's going to take a minute.
But it feels like
forever.
It feels like the water is closing in.
Yes.
But you have to just do that self-audit and then say, I trust God.
Yep.
I trust God with this.
In transition, I always come back to fitness because it's the thing that I understand most. I love Jesus. I love pastoring. But it's just a way that the Lord helps orient my thoughts.
Yeah.
And what you'll tell people is getting in really good shape, getting in really healthy shape for you is 20% exercise, 20% diet, and 60% managing your emotions. Right? Because that's where we make bad decisions. And
Right.
it's the same thing in transition.
Yeah.
Transition, the majority of what's going to make your transition well is managing your emotions. Just don't get too high, don't get too low. If you got to cry it out, but don't let that get on everybody else.
Right.
If you get mad, go be mad, punch the wall by yourself, come back, be normal with your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, manage your emotions.
So the gap isn't wasted time, it's preparation time.
Yep. Think about how much you're learning about yourself
Yeah.
whenever this pressure is on you.
Yeah.
And you can manage it, and you can see what you're doing. You can see where your gaps are or where your weak links are. Think about how much you're learning for the next season. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're going to be stronger if you can manage it.
Yep.
But if you go off and just start drinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, good luck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a lot of it is just managing your emotions and trying to follow the Lord because you haven't been this way before.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Oh man, that was
I
good.
appreciate that, man. That was good work.
Well, praise the Lord.
Hey, if this podcast was a blessing to you, share it with somebody.
Please.
Share it with yourself. Subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you thought about the conversation and if I should bring Adam Braud back. If you say no, I still bring him back anyway because that's my bro.
Yeah, I told him, I'm like, I'm your brother from another mother, man.
Yeah.
You're not getting rid of me.
Yeah.
We connected now.
Stuck on me like a rash.
Like a bad rash.
A bad rash.
Ain't no cream getting rid of this.
I mean, trying to. What is it, Lotrimin or
Is
whatever?
that Lotrimin AF? That ain't getting rid of me, boy.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.